Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got a post here from hgraph that's been reposted by the Hedera Foundation, and they say Australian Payments Plus and hgraph have collaborated under Project Akia to demonstrate how stablecoins can function across systems via bridging and interoperability layer. Okay, so I've actually got the article here, so I'm going to go through the article and then I'll explain my thoughts. But long story short, if you want to know the too long don't read, it's basically that Hedera are basically trying to get into the international remittance space, which we know they've been doing this for a while, right? Like they was doing the testing with, is it Shinhan Bank? I think they was doing a pilot with stablecoin. So this is them basically continuing to look into that aspect and really try and build upon that, which I will say this, like when I do look at Hedera and it comes to like cross-border payments, like if you guys follow me on not just my HBAR content, I do XRP content as well. Obviously I've always said that XRP is like the bridge asset and stuff like that, but I've just come to see that where we're going now does seem to be more stable coins. And so if I'll be honest with you, I do think that this actually gives Hedera a really good chance to really take a good bite into this market, because Hedera does use stablecoins. Like when they're using their cross-border payments use case, it is through stablecoins, and so they're not using the bridge asset, etc. So this gives a way for Hedera to really come in and take some of that action, to be honest with you. So we'll get into this and then I'll share my thoughts at the end of it. hgraph develops interoperability solution in collaboration with AP Plus for Project Akia. As digital payments and tokenized finance evolve, the question is no longer if, it's how they integrate securely and seamlessly with today's financial systems. That's what Project Akia is designed to explore, a national initiative led by the Reserve Bank of Australia (RBA) and the Digital Finance Cooperative Research Centre (DFCRC), supported by ASIC, APRA and the Australian Treasury. The program brings together financial institutions, technology partners and infrastructure providers to test how regulated digital money, including stablecoins, bank deposit tokens and a potential wholesale CBDC, can operate across networks, platforms and use cases. Under the Project Akia incentive, Australia Payments Plus (AP Plus) is demonstrating how regulated Australian stablecoins can function safely across different systems and payment environments. AP Plus has partnered with hgraph to build the bridging and interoperability layer that makes this possible. What Project Akia is exploring. Project Akia isn't about creating new speculative crypto assets. It's about testing the infrastructure that can support the next generation of digital value, regulated, auditable, and interoperable by design. By running coordinated experiments across multiple ledgers and participants, the initiative is helping shape how digital money could integrate into Australia's trusted financial ecosystem. Key highlights. Initiated by the RBA and DFCRC in late 2024 as a national research collaboration, 24 industry use cases are being tested across tokenized asset markets, settlement systems, and payment innovations. The goal: build a practical, regulated foundation for digital money, interoperability in wholesale and enterprise finance. hgraph's role: building the bridge. For AP Plus's participation in Project Akia, the challenge is interoperability, enabling a regulated stablecoin to move between networks and systems without friction or loss of trust. That's where hgraph comes in. We've built a secure, scalable interoperability layer that allows digital value to flow safely between ledgers, wallets, and financial networks. Our design principles focus on security and auditability, ensuring every transaction can be verified end-to-end, permission awareness, supporting regulated issuance and redemption flows, composability, allowing new systems and participants to be added easily, and performance, ensuring reliable real-time operations suitable for payment-grade environments. This infrastructure connects the dots between systems, enabling real interoperability with regulated digital money experiments like AP Plus's stablecoin initiative. Why it matters. Digital money has the potential to redefine how value moves, but only if it can work seamlessly across today's diverse systems. Interoperability is what makes that possible. By pairing AP Plus's interoperability layer, hgraph is helping demonstrate how a regulated Australian stablecoin could coexist with and enhance existing payment rails. It's a glimpse of how digital currencies can enable faster, transparent, and more efficient financial interactions across the economy. For institutions, regulators, and innovators, this is a real-world step towards scalable, compliant digital finance. Shaping what's next. Project Accia is more than a research exercise. It's a blueprint for Australia's digital finance future. Each participant is helping test different layers of that future system, from issuance and tokenization to interoperability and settlement. At hgraph, we're focused on the connective tissue that makes it all work, bridging networks, assets, and participants into one cohesive digital economy. Together with AP Plus and other industry leaders, we're building the infrastructure that will enable value to move as easily as information. Okay. Very impressive there. Very impressive, I must say. So, yeah, as I was saying, guys, like it does seem like stablecoins are the way banks are going when it comes to doing, cross-border payments and stuff like that. I think XRP will still have a role, but I don't think it will be as big as what it was originally entailed. I think that's just where it seems we're going now at this point. And so when we are looking at it from stablecoin remittances, again, I still think XRP has a place, but I think now what's happening is the field is a lot more open, right? Because at the end of the day, there's other networks that use stablecoins for cross-border payments, international remittances. And so, when I do look at what I've seen with Hedera, they've been pretty impressive. They've been doing pilots with stablecoins for quite some time now. I want to say at least like 2 years, if I'm thinking rightly. And so, when I look at this, I'm thinking, well, if they're doing this testing right now, obviously right now they're just doing it specifically in Australia, but this is just to test the use case, right? All they'll do is just scale that out if it's successful, which we'll see how it goes. I think it will be. I think they've got the tech that's needed to be able to pull this off. And, this is what I've always said anyway, to be honest with you. Like, even when we was talking about XRP as a bridge asset, I was never thinking that every bank in the world would use XRP anyway. You've got to look at these use cases, right? The way I look at it is like this, right? You've got numerous brands of things. So let's just go with clothing, for example. With clothing, you've got like Gucci, you've got Armani, you've got Prada, you've got Adidas, you've got Nike. These are all brands that do clothes, right? They all do the same thing essentially, right? Different price scales for different things, of course, but they all ultimately do the same thing. When it comes down to what people, want to buy or what they think the best one is, there's no definitive winner, right? Like, people just go with what they like. So some people might prefer to wear Gucci, some people might prefer to wear Armani, some people might prefer to wear Adidas, whatever, right? You've all got your thing that you want to use. And that's what I think is going to be with this crypto technology. Like, and this is why I say, I don't think there's just going to be one, chain that ends up successful, because it is going to be a thing where, like, if you look now, you've got different people holding different cryptos. You've got people who hold HBAR, people who hold XRP, people who hold Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., etc. And so I think what will happen is you'll have the networks that are successful. So, there's like 20,000 plus different cryptos out there now. That will greatly be reduced when, regulations and stuff come out. And then you'll be left with like the chains that actually are here for the long term. But in terms of there being, just the one chain, no. Like, that's why interoperability is a big thing, because what you want is access between all the networks. And that's where, to be able to do crypto on a mass scale level, it doesn't matter what network you're using, because they'll all be interoperable with each other anyway, right? So it's not going to make a big difference. And so I think it's going to be a thing of, different people will use different networks, right? And that's just what it will be. Everybody will have the network that they like for whatever reason. And this is why I always say, when it comes to like these use cases, it's not about just trying to be like the direct winner of one. All you need to do is be successful in multiple avenues, because you don't want to be just reliant on just one use case anyway, right? You want to be having like numerous different use cases. So like, let's just say, for example, there was invested in a use case heavily, Hedera were, and that use case it's just no longer needed. Like, let's just say that sector died out because of, for example, like AI. Well, if you just put all your effort into that one use case and then it's no longer needed, what do you do, right? Like, you've got to pivot, but because you've spent so much time and energy on that one use case, you're way behind. So The better thing is to be able to be in numerous different use cases, so no matter what happens, if one falls down, you've still got others propping you up, right? And so when I look at this for remittances, I'm not saying that I think Hedera will just take the whole lion's share in terms of, all of the adoption for cross-border payments, but I think it can get enough to, again, help it be more successful and valuable. I think this is a very good idea and a very good use case for Hedera. So yeah, when I look at this overall, I'm not saying that this means they're going to be the king of cross-border payments, but what I'm saying is they could definitely get enough chunk of that action to, again, add more value to Hedera and the network itself. So, for me, I think this is good overall. Really good to see. We'll keep an eye on this. But as I say, I believe they'd done a pilot with Shinhan Bank in the past, which had gone well. So I'm pretty comfortable that Hedera have got the cross-border payment thing pretty much settled, So I'm pretty confident in regards to, this being a successful pilot, in all honesty. So I guess we just see where this goes long term, but in my opinion, I think it will be positive. I think this is going to be something that will be, something that is utilized ultimately for Hedera. So definitely one to keep an eye on, but yeah, this is definitely good stuff to see. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.